Hey everyone, Tony Dragon here, and I'm joined by ShadowLink793.
ShadowLink793 here.
Yeah, we just came back from watching the Ratchet Clank movie, and this is a movie that I've been excited for a very long time. I'm a huge fan of the franchise.
He's been excited for this for a very long time.
Yeah, the first Ratchet Clank game, I bought it around, I think, it was 2002, because when it first came out.
Is that when the first game came out?
Yeah, I think I got it as a Christmas gift. Because I don't remember actually going to the store and buying it. Which I'm so happy about because I would never have got into the series. Well, I would have gotten into it eventually, just not, as soon as it came out.
I think back then when you're a kid, when you get into a game series, you don't usually go buy your games on your own. It's usually a gift before you like...
Yeah, probably.
Unless you happen to be in like a game store or Toys R Us back in the day and looked around like the games.
Yeah.
And see the covers like, oh, this looks cool. Mom, buy me this.
Well, anyway, ShadowLink here, I wouldn't say he's not a fan, but he's just not as into this franchise as I am.
I'll just say I'm neutral. And
okay, quick question though. What is your experience, like, the games, at least?
I've seen my cousin play was it Deadlock? The one that just...
Well, the Deadlock is full only the arena.
Yeah. I've seen him play, like, Commando, and I think I've seen you play that too. And the only one I've actually really played all the way through is Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah, that's usually the gateway video game for most people.
Yeah. I found that game fun, but like I think the Ratchet Clank series is fine. I just never really. They're just other game series I would play over it because I think I came to it pretty late, unlike you who probably came into it pretty early.
Well, it wasn't really the early part that got me into it. It was just the weapons, the characters. For most people, they do say that it was Up Your Arsenal that got them into the series.
Yeah.
So, what would you say was the weakest part of the games?
Story?
Story? Really?
I was never really invested into the story, honestly. I'm sure it's fine, but like, I think I'm just used to like, well, the more serious, less cartoony, like sort of games, like.
Well, if you really think about it, it was kind of a serious thing. I mean, Dr. Nefarious turning people into robots, pretty much like essentially killing them.
I don't know, maybe I just couldn't get invested into characters or anything. I don't know.
I guess the look itself was
that's probably
Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, probably the look itself was too Saturday morning cartoon. And although I do love Saturday morning cartoons, I enjoy them as watching them on like Saturday mornings or something.
Yeah, I can understand.
As opposed to like playing like over like 8 hours of gameplay and cutscenes.
Yeah, most people say it's mostly the comedy, and I can understand why.
Well, the comedy is okay. I didn't find the comedy in this movie particularly funny.
The comedy's always been rather childish, but every now and then there'll be this clever, more subdued comedy, comedic dialogue, that you have to like really think about.
Yeah.
And I really, appreciate those moments because even I admit, as much as I love Ratchet Clank, I can get like a little, think like, oh, that joke was a little cheesy. But for the most part, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It gives it a bit of a charm, especially with the characters. They're not all gonna be gold jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the movie review. First off, I've already seen some reviews about it.
Rotten Tomatoes gives this about 23% at the time of this review, I think.
That's not fair. And what's sad is a lot of reviews try to compare this movie to Zootopia and to Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen those comparisons too. I'm like, really?
Okay, here's the thing. I think it's unfair and also a bit unnecessary because the only thing that you can compare between Ratchet and Clank and Zootopia is the animation. Just because they're both the most recent animated movies that came out.
Yeah.
And I feel that's unfair because here's the thing. Zootopia is intentionally trying to go for a more realistic look in terms of their animals in their society. Ratchet and Clank universe, however, has always been in the style of Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
It looks and feels like Saturday morning cartoon, which is why I was a little taken aback when I saw the Sly Cooper trailer and I saw how they were trying to be more realistic.
Yeah.
in terms of their animals.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Ratchet and Clank was taking a more realistic sense like that?
It would kind of look weird.
It would look weird. You would look at it and just like, the hell?
I mean, I wasn't really a fan of when I saw that Sly Cooper trailer and I saw how they looked, but
I was a fan of like the situation they were in.
Yeah.
But the actual look was just I didn't hate it. I was just kind of taken aback because here's the thing: some animation styles are okay to look cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to look cartoony. You don't have to be super realistic in terms of animation.
No, of course not.
You know. And yeah, there are moments where I feel like they could have been more, detailed in certain, scenes.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah,
it's a Saturday morning cartoon type of movie. Mm-hmm. I know that's weird to say, but that's kind of the style they were going for because it's worked for them for all these years. Mm-hmm. The games were made in a Saturday morning cartoon style in terms of animation and movements for the characters.
Yeah.
And in terms of Star Wars, that one confused me the most. Because I look at it and thinking, okay, how would people connect that?
They both take place in space.
Yeah. Then I thought about it more. Okay, the main character comes from a desert. There's plenty of other movies where the characters come from deserts.
I think Star Wars is easier to compare because it's the most recent one and it's the most popular one.
Yeah.
In space here.
Yeah. What's another comparison you can take from Star Wars?
Well, I think like the Dehumanizer, isn't it kind of like a Death Star? But not really.
Yeah, the deplanetizer. The point. Here's the thing, though. The Death Star was a weapon intended to cement the Empire's
standing
dictatorship across the galaxy.
Yeah.
To send a message, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to us, we'll blow your planet up. The deplanetizer was a tool to create a planet for Drek.
No, but to do that, it's still how to dismantle the planet entirely.
Yeah.
So you're still killing people on the planet, even though all the planets in here
are uninhabited.
Are conveniently uninhabited.
Yeah.
Like
I said, Saturday morning cartoon. They're not gonna go for a full-on people dying.
Don't worry, no one dies. Uninhabited. Don't worry, we didn't kill anyone in Metropolis. It was uninhabited.
And I can see why people would look at that and say, "Oh, it's childish. They're not willing to go the distance of killing people." Like, why do they need to kill people?
Because that's what
there's no
bad
need
guys do.
Well, that's the thing. Drek wasn't essentially a bad guy. He was just an asshole.
He was not a bad guy.
He was a dick.
He was just a bad guy.
Yeah, he was a dick. But the similarities just simply, I look at them and I say, it's not fair. I really don't see why we're comparing this at all. In fact, if we want to compare this movie to any other movie, it's other video game movies.
There's really not much to compare to right there, considering all other video game movies are terrible.
And that's the thing.
This is actually a pretty decent one, because it actually follows the goddamn source material.
Yeah, here's the thing that's going to confuse the studio. It's like, okay, the first few video game movies, we try to do something different with it. More Hollywood style. Try to change it into what's popular.
Yeah.
You guys don't like that? Okay, fine. But now we're coming up with this, which is exactly like the source material. You guys don't like it? What do you want?
We don't know what the fuck we're to do now, guys.
Yeah, I feel like that's how the studio is going to respond. The studio doesn't know. It actually takes, criticism personally. And when they don't know what direction they're going in, they're just going to end up doing whatever the fuck they want. And most of the time, what they want is stupid.
Because this is by no means a bad movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what I was watching. I mean,
yeah.
I played the Ratchet and Clank games, and I didn't play the recent one, which is
the reboot.
Which just follows this movie.
Yeah, it follows this game's stories.
Okay, so
one complaint I do kind of agree with was the action scenes. They were a bit underwhelming.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I can say about it. The action was kind of a bit underwhelming.
But here's the funny part. I always felt like the action scenes were always better meant to stay as gameplay.
Yeah.
Because I think the point of this movie was to introduce the characters and tell a story with them in it.
Yeah.
So, on a whole, the story might be a bit cliche, but it's fun. Like I said, Saturday morning cartoons were never deep, storytelling, grand epics.
No, they're just there to entertain you for half an hour
to an hour. depending on the show. And I feel like this movie succeeded. It entertained me for the hour and a half I watched it. And I love the characters.
Yeah.
Even the new ones, to an extent. I felt like Sylvester Stallone's character was a little underused.
See, I didn't even know it was voiced by Sylvester Stallone until, like, the credits popped up.
Yeah. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone character, Victor, is the robot bodyguard for Drek. And I almost felt like he was forced in just to have a robot bodyguard for Drek. Or rather to have like a rival to Clank, which was weird. Because he had this like fascination with Clank. The defect.
Yeah.
Like, but they only shared 2 scenes together.
But they have a rivalry that goes throughout this movie, dude.
That was kind of weird. I felt like, there was really no point to Sylvester Stallone being in this movie.
Because we totally needed Rocky in this.
Yeah, I felt like they wanted more celebrities to kind of like advertise the movie.
I can kind of see that because
But they didn't have enough money to pay Sylvester Stallone, a big name, to play too many parts, so they just undermined his lines.
Yeah.
To the point where just like makes me think like, what was the point then?
I guess to have an A-list actor, hoping it would like.
Well, they had John Goodman. John Goodman's always good, and he was good in this movie.
Yeah.
John Goodman's character was Grim. Ratchet's boss.
Yeah.
And I felt that he was pretty decent addition to the story. It always felt weird that Ratchet lived in a garage by himself since he was a baby. Someone had to raise him. Someone had to look out for him.
Yeah.
Because he changed his own diapers.
Hey man, it's totally possible with training and determination.
And then for the other new characters, I'm kind of still iffy on their names. The Galactic Rangers.
I don't know any of their names. I just call them Galactic Ranger guys.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty fun.
To me, they're just like the galactic version of Power Rangers.
Yeah. But if you remember in Up Your Arsenal, the Galactic Rangers were nothing but just robots, voiced by the same guy.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny, but it almost felt underwhelming. Like, the Galactic Rangers, nothing but robots. Like, really, there's no, like, team of superheroes.
So I guess it's, like, better that this is, like...
They actually have some, like, organic beings involved in the Galactic Rangers.
So this is the Ratchet and Clank Avengers?
No. This is just, like... if I had to say, it'd be like...
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Not even. Well, to be fair, if you think about Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, he was originally a wrestler. Or an entertainer like Gladiator.
Yeah, he was dating about the...
And the muscle guy in this one, he used to be a wrestler too. They mentioned in the beginning, he was a wrestler.
Okay.
So... Guardians of the misfits that like to shoot first and ask questions later. Yeah. But... No, I felt they were pretty good. I would like to see more development from them.
There's really no character development.
For them specifically, they were just there to add more voices.
Yeah. I mean, Ratchet gets character development, and Quark gets character development.
Quark gets a lot of great character development in this that the first game they didn't give him. In fact, we didn't get character development from him until the third game.
Yeah.
Which was just like, okay. That took a long time to do. And this one, he still retains that selfishness, but it's a bit more charming since he's not completely, dickish and evil.
Yeah.
He's just like he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's a
fucking moron.
Yeah, he's a little moron that he's gonna fuck up, but hey, deep down he has a good heart.
Yeah.
He means well. He just doesn't know how to do things correctly.
Yeah.
All right. Technicals, like I said, it's Saturday morning cartoon, but for what the movie is, graphically, it looks pretty good.
I think kids will enjoy this movie since this is pretty much more marketed towards Ratchet and Clank fans and I guess kids by extension.
Yeah, I guess, but it's definitely more for the fans because there are a lot of, fan favorites. Mr. Zurkon makes an appearance. I love that. Although I will say, I have played a bit of the game, and there are certain scenes in it that extend the movie. And, like I said, the action scenes in this movie were not that great, but that's because the action parts of the game were so great. And I feel that's kind of like, it almost makes you feel like it's forcing you to buy the game to get the full experience.
Would it be fair to say this movie is just there's a big advertisement for the game too?
Well, but here's the thing. The game came out before the movie. If they wanted to advertise the game, they would have had the movie come out first. I felt like it was the movie advertising the game, but at the same time, the game was advertising the movie. I know it's a weird thing, but that's how I felt what they were doing. They wanted to make sure at least one of them succeeded. So they had both of them advertise each other.
Yeah.
And in some way, that's ingenious. You know? Do you want to just go jump into spoilers now?
Okay, yeah. Hashtag spoilers.
I'll put it in the video, don't worry.
Okay, so... Yeah. I guess yeah, let's just get into it.
Yeah, so Ratchet wants to join the Galactic Rangers, and of course, they don't allow him in there. I do like their reasoning. Quark's reason was because he'll take the attention from him, which he eventually does.
Yeah. But
the other two bring up good points. You bought illegal weapons from a space pirate.
Yeah.
You used an illegal ship upgrade, and you open a hole in the space-time continuum, which I like because one thing I wasn't 100% for in the Tools of Destruction to crack in time was that Ratchet felt too goody two-shoes. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that reckless side of him that I loved in the first 3 games. In this one, they brought it back. He's reckless. He's a bit too enthusiastic about experimentation and engineering to the point he's gonna blow something up. And I really like that about him. And what did you think about the explanation as to how their weapons are teleported into their hands?
What was the explanation?
The explanation was the new power suit that they gave him, or proton suit or whatever. I think it was called
the suit.
Nano suit.
The suit just teleports whatever.
Yeah, the helmet transmits to the base. It's I want this weapon, and it just teleports into his hand.
I guess it's a little bit more easier than confirming that he's just carrying it somewhere on his person.
Carrying a kind of bell or shrinking them down to little capsules like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z.
Can you imagine?
Or put them in hammer space like in most video games.
Yeah.
Where the crap does Dante keep all those freaking weapons he gets in the
Deadpool's magic bag.
The magic satchel.
Magic satchel, yeah.
That's an animation thing there.
No, but I did like the explanation. It was pretty interesting. So anyone can just if they're wearing the right suit or the right glove or something, they can just I want this weapon, boom, it's in my hand.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because in the game, you always wonder where are the weapons when I'm putting them away?
Well, at that point, it's just
it's in the back of your head. It's not the big question.
I'm just sitting here shooting people.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the weapons, biggest part of the franchise in so many fans. They brought some good old ones and they brought some new ones. Actually, not really new ones. The new ones appear in the game. They don't really appear here though.
Yeah.
The ones they usually the most you hear are the old ones, like the combustor, the spiral of death, the fusion grenade. Like I said, Mr. Zurkon makes an appearance. There's actually an extended, action scene in the game that has to do with Mr. Zurkon that I wish was in the movie, because it would have been so much funnier and somewhat of a much more action-y scene. But like I said, they don't want to give everything away. They want something for the game, but at the same time they want something for the movie, because there are certain parts of the movie that don't show up in the game in terms of cutscenes. So I'm just okay, they're cutting parts out for each of them, and that could kind of hurt either one of them because it feels like you're getting incomplete, product, but it still works in a way,
Yeah, it's still not as bad as Batman versus Superman.
Don't bring that up. We have to wait for the 3-hour release.
Watch that.
Yeah, well then we'll do a review of the 3-hour release. See if it is, how it was meant to be supposedly. But we'll bring that up a different time. Alright, so one of the biggest spoilers. Drek is not the main villain of the movie.
Yeah, he's not. He's actually Dr. Nefarious.
Of course, Dr. Nefarious.
I used to beat pumps up like you in high school.
They changed that backstory apparently.
No,
okay,
I
apparently
like that backstory.
I know that it was. Well, I keep forgetting the teacher's name, but it was 8th grade biology class. And I was the freak. You called me the freak with the headgear.
Actually, it was 9th grade biology class.
9th grade biology class. Okay. I guess you remember that joke a lot better than I do.
A little bit. Mind you, it's been years since I played that game, but I know that joke.
It was 9th grade biology class. Quark picking on him, erasing the chalkboard with his pants. Well, he's still wearing them.
He was always big for his age.
You were 26. But in this one, they changed it to the fact that Dr. Nefarious used to be a Galactic Ranger.
Which makes sense.
He was a scientist developing all the weapons and the armors and stuff like that. But of course, working for Quark, that means he was constantly insulted, made fun of, underappreciated, and that drove him insane until he became a villain.
Yep.
Classic villain story. Like I said, cliche, but fun. Especially when it comes to the characters. Nefarious is hilarious as a villain.
Yeah.
He's always been hilarious. He's like one of the most hilarious villains throughout the whole series. And of course, Quark, like I said, lovable idiot.
Yep.
But yeah, he becomes evil, and I like the little throwbacks they do in this. Like Neftin Prague makes an appearance. He's a villain in Into the Nexus.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of gives me hope that they'll eventually get to that storyline because I love Into the Nexus. It's a great story. It's much darker in tone, which I feel like will make the Ratchet Clank movies much better in the future. But yeah, like I said, Dr. Nefarious, working with Drek, and eventually betraying him. Pretty much using him as a patsy to get a giant laser to destroy the galaxy.
Of course.
So, yeah, what did you think about that? They just pretty much got rid of Drek pretty easily like that.
Well, they weren't really super building him up as the super main bad guy that they were like supposed to take down, but I didn't really mind it too much considering I don't know, I just didn't really find him too threatening, honestly.
Yeah.
The Nefarious kind of seemed more like he had a more destructive and evil agenda.
Yeah, that's the thing about Drek. I think some people say that they didn't understand the motivation of the villains, but I actually understood Drek pretty easily. He mentioned for 10 years he was stuck underground in his own home planet because he couldn't live above ground. The pollution was so bad, his own people couldn't live on the surface. They had to live in caves underground. While every other species in the galaxy got to live in the sunshine, breathe fresh air, and he was jealous of that. He wanted that for himself.
He just wants to be in the sun, man.
Yeah, he wants to get a tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, they mentioned it twice. First in the news report, like 30 years ago, the Blargian home planet was completely polluted to the point that they had to live underground, so they disappeared from any sort of news. And then Drek just confirms it. Like, yeah, for 10 years, I grew up living underground, never being able to see the sun or breathe fresh air because my planet was fucked up. And here I am sitting in the cave while the rest of you are breathing fresh air and having nice meadowy fields. I don't get any of that. Yeah, so he goes out, destroys planets, and it's a dickish way to go around it. Like, instead of just like, hey guys, can we live here and breathe the same fresh air? Like, no, I'm like, screw you, I'm gonna take your stuff. Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, the first few planets were uninhabited, so no, he wasn't stealing technically from people.
Technically.
Yeah, but Dr. Nefarious betrays him, and Dr. Nefarious' motivation is that he's just insane. Quark drove him to the point where he just wanted to watch the world burn. He even says like, "Oh fuck, I am a mad scientist." Okay, cool.
And whatever.
Yeah, like, all right, I'm insane. I'm gonna kill everyone. Yay! Yeah, so motivation-wise. Drex was a bit more, complicated than originally in the first game, where we just wanted money.
He's got to have it.
Yeah, and Nefarious was just, he was just insane. Do we really need motivation for insanity?
No.
I mean, we don't try to put, logic to the Joker.
Yeah.
Or any of Batman villains, really. They're just insane.
Well,
some of them do have backstories that motivate them.
Yeah, like Riddler has, genuine,
Riddler, Mr. Freeze.
Well, Mr. Freeze commits crimes to save his wife. So
yeah, he's like, that's a Shakespearean villain right there.
Riddler's just a freaking asshole who thinks highly of himself and leaves riddles for Batman to pick up, and even has Batmobile challenges in Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
To fucking do that. I'll get into that some other time in the Arkham Knight playthrough eventually.
Yeah. What else? Quark's betrayal. We saw that coming because that was in the first game.
That was in the first game.
But I like how it wasn't in there for the second game, the third game. It was just, he was tricked. He was taken advantage of because he's kind of stupid.
Well,
but at the end, deep down, he has a heart of gold. He's like, oh shit, I fucked up. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah, but he's still funny. I like him.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but other than that, I felt like the ending was kind of awkward.
No.
Immediately after, as soon as they destroyed the planetizer and Nefarious, Ratchet they teleport to the ship, and Ratchet just says, "Well, time to go home.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a promise to keep with Grimm. Gotta help him, run the garage shop." Well, that was quick.
That was quick. You just saved the universe.
Next thing, he's there working on the ships, and then out of nowhere, Clank shows up, and now they're friends and partners, and they're gonna continue saving the galaxy when it calls for it.
That's the thing. They didn't really have too many interactions between Ratchet and Clank themselves in this movie. In terms of this movie.
In terms of the movie, I felt like there was a decent amount,
but not enough because this is the title characters here.
Yeah, these are title characters, but remember the first
their development with their friendship isn't really
But remember the first game had them really hate each other. And that would have come off forced in this movie.
Yeah.
And then immediately, near the end, Ratchet's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, let's become friends again."
Yeah.
That was kind of rushed when you really think about it.
I guess.
This was a much better demonstration of their friendship just starting out. They share similarities in terms of they're both very intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
They very deeply care about saving the galaxy.
Yeah.
And the friendship grows over time throughout the games. So I can only assume if there ever is a sequel, God, I hope there's a sequel, that you only see more instances of their friendship growing and their trust in each other growing.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Alright, the final Easter egg I want to bring up is the Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper, scene.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, not really a scene, but Clank is looking at Ratchet, trying to figure out what race he is, because he's like, he's not noticing any race like him in the database.
And there's Sly Cooper
and there's
Daxter,
there's the Oxel race, and then no, then there's Dan Johnson, no, then there's Sly Cooper, no, you're not that race. It's just
guys, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, the movie eventually, guys.
No, PlayStation Heroes. Done right though. The game was horrible in terms of story, but the concept of Jack, Ratchet, and Sly Cooper meeting in person, joining forces. That's awesome. I would love to see that. If, with the story done right.
So, if this movie does, well at the box office enough, it could...
I mean, right now, the reviews don't look good, but it's the first weekend. I'm hoping the fans of the Ratchet Clank franchise come in and save it. Because, like I said, it doesn't have to be like Star Wars just because it's sci-fi. It doesn't have to reach, the realistic animation of Zootopia because, I don't know, Lombaxes are fuzzy. So they look like animals.
Fuzzy.
And it's a first attempt at Insomniac really trying to make a movie about a game we've all shown them that we love. In a sense, this movie is not just an experiment for them to see, what we would like to see more of, but it's almost like a love letter. It's a way of Insomnia saying, hey, all you fans out there, this is our thank you. We would never have gotten here without all of you. That's how I felt when I was watching the movie. The first time I watched this movie, I sat there happy as can be. I felt, kind of, I was being thanked throughout the whole thing. That's how I honestly feel as a fan of the Ratchet & Clank series. That's how I feel this movie was made for.
Yeah.
You know, it might sound like, well, then the general audiences aren't going to like it if they cater to the fans, but, you know, maybe the general audiences, you know, are meant to get into it immediately. It's a way to introduce the characters, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
And I feel that they did that properly.
Well, if the fans like this movie, then, you know, that's good. I don't think if the fans really want to see this movie, I don't think reviews and critics are gonna deter them from watching this movie. I mean, hell, Batman v Superman got freaking
horrible reviews,
but
hardcore DC fans still went to see it.
And hardcore DC fans and people who just enjoyed Batman and Superman together or in the same movie alone is just like enough of a concept for them to go see.
Yeah.
So if that movie can do well, and despite having do well at the box office despite having like
review after review after review pounding on it.
And you know this movie has hope yet because if the Ratchet Clank fan base is dedicated enough to this movie, then you know Insomniac will recognize this and they'll make more.
Yeah, Insomniac actually did have a huge part in making this movie. It's not like you know why don't they just let the game developers into the story? Well, that's what they did here.
Yeah.
This was made by Insomniac themselves.
And because of that, I think this is overall the best
video game adaptation.
Yes.
That we've seen in movies.
Yes.
Because here's the thing: some people say they merely hear a bad review and think, "Oh, just another bad movie alongside all the video game bad movies." No, compared to other video game movies that have come out, this is nothing like those.
Yeah.
It sticks to the source material. It is made by the game developers. It stays true to the fans and what made the fans fans of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just plain out fun. I honestly feel like that's how this movie should have been.
Ultimately, it's going to be the people who decide to watch it, whether they regard or disregard critics or the reviews of it is going to be up to them. So, that's just going to be their decision.
Plus, it's the first attempt. I'm not expecting the perfect movie.
It's not going to be gold.
Yeah, it's the first attempt by Insomniac to make a movie based on a game.
Yeah.
And that's hard enough for any studio. Without millions and billions of dollars behind them.
This is also like the first.
Marketing.
This is also the first video game adaptation for a movie we have this year.
There's Warcraft coming out.
Yeah, that's why I said this is the first one.
Oh, the first one of the year. Yeah. People are saying then they're placing their hopes on Warcraft to be the good one. It's like I look at Warcraft and I'm not the biggest fan of Warcraft, but I look at Warcraft and I feel like it's too late. It looks like it's not going to be that good because it looks. You want to talk about generic? That looks kind of generic.
I think we've seen this kind of thing
in a lot of Lord of the. It looks like it's trying to be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But we've seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we've seen.
And Lord of the Rings was much better than this.
I think even The Hobbit would probably be a little.
That's more questionable.
That's more questionable.
The Hobbit just felt like outstretched, cash grab.
Oh, most of The Hobbit should have been just like 2 movies.
It should have been 2 movies. Like the first movie focused entirely on the dragon, and the second one entirely on the 5 armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for a first attempt for a video game movie, some people say there's an Assassin's Creed movie coming out.
I've heard that for years. I don't think it's coming out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I played Assassin's Creed, the first one, which I'm sure the movie's gonna be based on. That thing was so convoluted with the whole transporting your mind into the body of your past self or past ancestor, holograms and stuff like that.
Granted, guys, we're not big Assassin's Creed fans.
I'm a fan of the gameplay.
Gameplay
I like the gameplay.
is fine.
The story, however, was just so muddled and so unnecessarily complicated that I feel like a movie adaptation won't do it any justice.
I mean, there's some video game adaptations that deserve a movie. I mean, we mentioned Sly Cooper, and that's been in limbo for the past.
Yeah, I don't think we should let our love of the games get in the way, because some people say I'm afraid of watching the movie and saying I would prefer playing the game instead. But here's the thing: I feel like if you just want to play the game because of watching the movie, that's even better, because the movie not only succeeded in entertaining you, but it succeeded in making you want to play the game more.
I also think it's a bad thing when a movie wants to make people. What if the movie is so bad it just makes me want to go out there and just play the game again?
That's true. Some video game movies do it so badly that they want you to go play the game. Just like, it is good, shut up, movie!
Shut up, movie!
But no, I felt like this one did a job. Like, people who want more of the action of the movie can go play the game. And I know that sounds kind of wrong, I have to buy the game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
they
but at the same time, like I said, yeah, it's the movie advertises the game, and the game advertises the movie.
Uh-huh.
It's a very, tricky balance, but I felt like they did pretty well for their first attempt.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, it's a fun movie. It really is. It's not a masterpiece. It's not, gold A+ material. It's not, that diamond in the rough.
It's not movie of the year.
It's just that, that shiny little gem you find in like dust. It's not the shiniest thing. It's not the clearest thing. But you know what? It's pretty to look at. I want to keep it. And when the Blu-ray does come out in I think August, I'm gonna buy it because I just love Ratchet and Clank, and I really want to support this movie because not only will it support us Insomniac into making sequels, and hopefully improving on the story itself, but it also opens opportunities for Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, maybe Uncharted. That'd be a good movie.
I think Uncharted is already a movie by itself.
Yeah, pretty true. Maybe God of War.
I think God of War is also pretty much a movie by itself.
Well, what other PlayStation games are there?
Are we just talking about PlayStation properties, or...
Yeah.
Okay,
Too bad Crash isn't in PlayStation anymore.
Or Spyro.
Yeah, those would make some pretty decent movies, huh?
Yeah.
I would see those as pretty good movies. Maybe Spyro.
Metal Gear is pretty much a movie already, too.
Well, Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain 5. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Those are movies. Those are movies.
Those are movies. All the cutscenes. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like this could be a gateway to future video game movies. Actually, sticking to the source material for once. Actually trying to improve. But if we, the fans or the viewers of movies, don't help, tell them what we want in future movies, I feel like they're never going to improve. And we're going to be stuck with the same crappy video game movie after a crappy video game movie after a crappy video game movie.
Yeah.
And we're just going to stigmatize every video game movie as horrible.
Yeah.
Even when we don't watch it.
Although I will say, I think what would make a very good video game movie would probably be a Zelda movie and a Metroid movie. I know those aren't PlayStation, but it's a video game adaptation.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Legend of Zelda would be kind of hard since it's not a protagonist.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them a voice, no.
No, we're not.
Metroid, you can probably give her a voice. I mean, they gave her a voice in the Wii version, didn't they?
That game was kind of...
The game was kind of bad, but that thing does more of the dialogue.
I mean, they can give her a voice, I don't care, but like...
Yeah, if they gave her a voice, we wouldn't mind. It's just the dialogue has to be good.
Yeah, because that was dumb.
Yeah, but like I said, I love this movie. I want y'all, anyone who watches this, please support it because it does deserve to be supported because they tried their hardest. They put a lot of effort into this, and I really want to see, sequels of this and future, PlayStation movies. Let Sony know that they're on the right path. They need to improve, obviously. There are still things that need to be improved about this movie. But we need to let them know that. Don't just bash the movie and make them think that it's just another bad video game movie and they just, they don't know what to do, so they come out with more bad video game movies.
Yeah.
So, I don't want people to think, Ratchet and Clank started the whole bad movie genre again. Because they didn't. It's a good movie. I love it.
So y'all out there should go out there and see it.
I'll go Western on them. Alright, so I'm Tony Dragon.
ShadowLink793 here.
And I'm glad you guys all came here to see the review. Bye-bye. What are you doing?
I'm checking.
Checking for what?
If the camera can pick up... Yeah, okay.
It can pick up just fine. Go.
Are we rolling yet?
Fuck you. Hey everyone, I'm Tony Dragon. And you son of a bitch! We just started! Answer the damn phone! I'll have to edit this out.
Give me a second.
Yeah, this makes for good bloopers. Bloopers always funny.
Oh yeah. I'm not even in it too, and this is probably gonna be hilarious. They'll be like, who's that third guy in the bloopers?
Can you just hear his voice?
It's like the voice of reason. No, I'm your guys' conscience.
No wonder you're so quiet. We never listened to you. Are we done? Are we good to go? Put it on vibrate at least or something.
I'm sorry, I'm so popular.
Mine on vibrate too.
Your mom calls you and yourself.
Why would she do that?
My parents do that all the fucking time. It's like, Mom, why are you calling me?
How lazy can that be?
Well, to be fair, my room is pretty soundproof, and it's like the living room is right over there.
This is a great way to start the review.
Okay,
All right.
I think we need to move into a